It was at this moment Straw Hat Luffy knew he'd fouled up. Five, four, three, two, one. Hello, cats and kittens. Orewa say Yoroshiku. We're back in the Crisis Corner. We're going to be doing our review. Me and Dave, we're going to be doing our review of One Piece Chapter 922, which is entitled Viceroy of the Hundred Beast Pirates Kaido. So what's up, Dave?
What's up?
This is going to be it's going to be an interesting chapter for sure. Let me see. You cannot minimize.
Say the least.
Anyway, this chapter, to me, this is chickens coming home to roost. Luffy has made a chain of blunders, in my impression.
I recall
has led him and his crew to this point, and I assume in the next chapter he's going to pay the price for it. He has made a string of bad. If we go back to the when we did the impressions of 18 through 20, first thing I said is that he and Zoro were acting extremely casual.
Okay.
Being very nonchalant. They were, pretty blasé about how they were going about whatever it is they were doing. Now, in fairness, before Zoro and Luffy hooked up, all the Straw Hats seemed to have been playing their roles and keeping a low cover.
Okay.
Luffy comes in, being Luffy, he gets caught up in some nonsense and raises his profile. I guess it comes down to him bashing Hold'em because he had hurt Tama, which was past tense, but he didn't feel that, so he bashed him, and that's really what set things off, because then at that point Hawkins got involved in all of this, and it all blew out of proportion. Jack comes into it, all of that. Prior to that, and I will get to my point, it's not like, I'm trying to be very specific about this. He is in a Yonko's territory. And it's not like it's the first time he's been in the Yonko's territory. Okay? He just comes off of Whole Cake Island. Fleeing from Whole Cake Island because he could not defeat Big Mom. None of them could. They had to flee for their lives. So he steps into another Yonko's territory, talking about how I'm going to beat him down and get food for everybody and all of that nonsense. Why? I don't know. He should have learned a lesson from Big Mom. He threw strong attacks at her, and they didn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So why are you going to come in here talking about, I'm going to liberate this island and everybody's going to get some food? You know what I mean? He should have waited for all the people that are being gathered to come together and then suss out their attack. But he didn't do that. You know what I mean? Luffy being who he is, although he should have learned a lesson by now, he's Luffy, you know what I mean? And he winds up raising his profile and getting his whole crew into this horrible situation where Kaido is coming to wreck them all. So I'm putting all of this on Luffy. It's all his fault. He's going to pay the price for this joint in a second.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I am going to say, though, to be fair, and to this point in the series, I mean, Luffy's an emotional character. So he's not logical in any way, shape, or form. It's not who he is. He's a feeler. He feels things deeply, and that's what guides him. And to this point in the story, it served him well. So, I mean, he's still just going about things being Luffy. And like I told you, I mean, I agree with you that this is a dangerous position that they're in. Because ultimately, and we've talked about this before, well, firstly, Luffy isn't My opinion, Yonko level
Mm-mm.
at this point in time.
Mm-mm.
Excuse me. So as we get further into this story, this bit of the arc, I think that's going to become more and more evident. Additionally, I'm not even certain his crew. I mean, I don't think he has enough. I will call them headliner level cats on his team yet. So I don't know what's going to happen to these cats outside of them being decimated. So I'm curious to see. I see your point. In so much that he was doing. So I guess the question that comes out of all this for me is: do you think it's when Luffy and Zolo get together? Do you think they bring the worst out of each other? Is it like one of those things? Whereas this partnership, it the best and worst.
To me, I wouldn't say necessarily they bring out the worst in each other, but Zolo's going to follow Luffy.
Okay.
He's going to back his play regardless. That he's a first mate. That's his deal. That's a captain. He knows Luffy's, eccentricities and all of that good stuff. And he's pretty much resigned to go along with him and just back his play. Now, I would say that the problem I have with Luffy is that I don't know what Zolo and them have been doing in Wano, but they haven't seen Kaido before. Therefore, Zolo hasn't seen Kaido. He wasn't at Marineford when Whitebeard was there.
Now, did he say he hadn't seen Kaido?
Huh?
Has Zolo said he hasn't seen Kaido?
I would imagine that he hasn't. I mean, in his dragon form, probably not.
I mean, I'm saying, to this point, we don't know because.
Let me take that back. Let me take that back. He hasn't seen Kaido in action.
All right.
He does not know the measure of a Yonko.
Okay.
He wasn't at Marineford. He didn't see Whitebeard. Luffy was. He wasn't at Whole Cake Island to see Big Mom. Luffy was.
Terrifying, by the way.
Yes.
All right.
Luffy knows what Yonko can do.
I agree with that.
And Luffy knows that he cannot defeat any of the Yonko that he has seen to this point. He knows that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what.
It's got to be a first time.
Yeah, it would have been at Whole Cake Island where he fled from. You know what I'm saying? Spear of his life. You know what I'm saying? His new attack, his new Gear 4, had no effect on Big Mom.
Gear 5 is where it's at.
Look, anyway. The only thing I want to see out of Luffy is a little bit of growth, a little bit more maturity, and he's capable of it. Because probably one of the best decisions that he ever made was at the Shabindi Archipelago, flee. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to fight, run. You know what I'm saying? We can't beat these people away at our current level. Just leave and we'll meet back up later. That's one of the best commands he ever gave as a captain.
Okay.
And he's capable of realizing realizing that he cannot defeat a particular foe. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll grant you, in this particular situation, he's all up in his feelings. He's the chicken's coming home to roost. Him giving the food to the people in Leftover Town, raising his profile, stealing food and giving it to them was a mistake. Also, leaving them unprotected was a mistake, and it's coming home to roost. He just believes he saw his crew destroyed. So yeah, he's gonna go in on Kaido. That's not the mistake that he made.
Well, to circle back though, to be fair though, I'm up to a point, I feel like his luck was still breaking his way, because ultimately, yes, he did raise a profile. He did give food to the people in Leftover Town, and Shoot Tomorrow did come down from the mountain. And I may have heard people, I've read some places or seen some places where people may disagree with this, but I had, in my mind, Jack showed up, and the people who were endangered by Shoot Tomorrow would have been saved by Jack. Now, I don't know if they would have kept the food. I don't know if whatever. I know ultimately, Shutamaru had two options, which is either join that crew or die.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that it all went to hell when your man Kaido got drunk. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Luffy might have been lucky to this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he would have learned from anything or whatever. I mean, it might have worked out.
Well, and I'm gonna get into Shitamaru in a minute, but
All right.
he's Luffy. Like I said, he's at some point he's gonna have to learn how to be. Now I'm gonna go another example. Sanji, who's obviously smarter than Luffy to a good extent.
Okay.
Going back to Whole Cake. What was it? Oven is about to go in on which daughter was that? Charlotte to help make the cake.
Oh, Chiffon.
No, Chiffon. He's about to go in on Chiffon. Sanji's incognito, but he can't allow a man to do damage to a female.
Yes.
But does he reveal himself? No. He uses his speed and uses Chiffon's father as a kind of like she uses. What did he do? He basically, because her father was attacking Oven, so he kind of used that to sneak in there, one shot Oven, get Chiffon, and take off, never revealing his identity. You know what I'm saying? Smart play. All right. But he knew not to reveal himself because the stakes were higher than his, his need to protect that woman. You know what I'm saying? So he saved her, true, but he did not reveal his identity. Luffy comes in here, and again, I'm not mad at Luffy to a great extent, but I'm not mad at Oda in saying that he's not writing him well, or he's not writing him consistently. So yes, consistently, that's what Luffy would do. But he should know better by now. At some point, he's going to have to know better than to do stupid things, especially when the stakes are this high.
The unfortunate situation is I'm going to say that, and I agree with that. I do believe that after even before the time skip, so even before the time jump, and the experiences on Chavity Archipelago, I do believe caution. He should be a little bit more cautious. I agree with you in that regard. I do believe he should exhibit that because he saw what it is to go up against a more powerful opponent, and what a more powerful opponent that you're ill prepared to deal with. Where there's such a large discrepancy in a large power gap between you and that opponent. He's seen firsthand what that can do. So I agree with you. He should be a lot more cautious, and I do believe that could be added to his character because to just based off this chapter, and I'm sure it's not what happened, but like you're saying, Luffy, with the he could have got his crew killed. For all intents, when it finishes, his team. His crew could be dead. And that's because, like you said, he wasn't no foresight. He wasn't, looking to stay under the radar and so forth. So, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. This could cost lives. At this point in time, you're not gambling with, just getting the snot beat out of you. You're gambling with lives. Like, it's just, you're playing Russian with live ammo at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with that.
And in reality, he doesn't need. They're gathering all of these forces for a war.
Yeah.
Okay. And at the end, I mean, the big boss at the end of this, fifth level boss or whatever, is Kaido. And he doesn't have to defeat Kaido. It's not incumbent on him to do so. If you go back to, if you want to go even farther back to Enies Lobby, he had to fight Rob Lucci.
Okay.
Because he was the only person in that crew that could stop Rob Lucci from getting Robin back. He had to fight him. There's no question about that. Going back to Whole Cake Island, he had to fight Katakuri or everybody on that ship would have been killed. They couldn't have left port. They couldn't have took off of Whole Cake Island if he didn't get Katakuri off of that ship. It was necessary. He doesn't have to be Kaido. A coalition of people can be Kaido. It doesn't have to be him. You know what I'm saying? Again, granted, at the time that Kaido blasts his crew, he's pretty much resigned to hitting them, just on general principle, I guess. But I'm curious to see how does he see this this war going down? Is this like a personal crusade that he has to liberate this island, or is he part of a force of people that are going to liberate this island? You know what I'm saying? Is it about him or is it about the crew, the coalition? You know what I mean?
I think
just generally speaking, I'm curious to see what his interpretation of this entire thing is.
See, to my mind, though, at some point, it's time to stop playing pirates. It's time to start either you're going to do it. The man been running around, and I know it's not been the same amount of time in actual continuity than it has in real, but the man been running around for years talking about he's going to be king of the pirates. King of the pirates, king of the pirates. It doesn't mean anything unless you make moves to be king of the pirates. So at some point or another, you're really saying he doesn't have to be Kaido right now. But you can't take that throne unless you get rid of those Yonko who are in the way of it.
So that's to say that he's going into this whole thing basically as a means to personally defeat Kaido to step up another round.
I'm not saying that ultimately that's Luffy's driving force, because knowing him as a character, it isn't. But ultimately, for me, as a reader, at some point you got to put your money where your mouth is. It's time to either piss or get off the pot. Like, you keep talking all this stuff. You're going to be the king of the pirates. You got to be the king of the pirates. And
he should have hung around Whole Cake and tried to finish up.
We talked about this when we were discussing our power ranking of the Yonko and so forth. I'm be honest with you, and not to say, because Kaido is looking like a monster. He is looking like a sheer monster. I can tell you, I don't know, it's amazing that they made it off of Whole Cake Island. I can tell you, Big Mom is a beast. She swung that sword, and I just, I saw their lives flash before my eyes. Like, it was real. Like, I don't know. So, and I feel like you playing with fire no matter what Yonko you battle. I honestly, I don't know what needs to happen. I'm assuming we either going to not even just Gear 5. We might have to get Gear 6. Like, essentially, like I told you before, and I know we've had conversations where I told you this has to be the New World equivalent of not Marineford, but in his lobby. This has to be that big situation, whereas Luffy came out of that thing with Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd. So he came out with 2 upgrades, and I know we've been rolling around with Gear 4th for a second, but I think we might have to come out this thing with Gear 5th and Gear 6th. And I don't know, like I told you, I don't know what Gear 6 would be. And right now, my mind tells me Gear 5 is going to be organs. And he's gonna. I don't know if I put this on one of these things. My theory that essentially, he's going to be able to stretch how his organs work, and he's going to increase his thinking power. So my thinking is that Gear 5th is going to be him using his brain. Stretching that thing out, thinking things through. So I'm just going to see, but I don't know what Gear 6 would be, and I'm thinking we're going to have to see it. Otherwise, I don't know how they make it out of this thing alive.
Well, that's a good question. And also, we don't know who else is going to show up. This is going to be a madhouse. This is going to be a zoo.
I hope so, because this thing is, I am enjoying the hell out of Wado to this point.
And circling back to Shitemaru,
yeah,
I'm assuming that Oda is going is he's leaning on different aspects of either Japanese lore or just storytelling. You know, we saw some of the Seven Samurai in there, 47 Ronin, right?
Yeah.
Shitemaru been acting like a bandit since Oda died, since Oden died. He been hiding out. He been behaving like a bandit, but the fact of the matter is, he's still loyal. He just
it seemed that way too. I got the impression too when Kaido went to go take down Oden's.
Yeah.
I'm with you because I'm under the impression that especially if he's going to go toe to toe with Jack, even for a second, he can't be a throwaway character, and you know he's getting too much prestige. And very quickly, and we'll circle back to Shooting Model real quick. I do want to touch on the title of this book. So I thought that was very interesting to me too. That Kaido is the viceroy of the 100 Beast Pirates. That title is interesting to me because he's the viceroy. He's not an admiral. He's not a captain, a commodore. He's a viceroy, and it's got me wondering who answers to who. And I understand they were saying Kaido has this. They look at him kind of like a god and so forth, but a viceroy, some authority places a viceroy in charge of an area. A viceroy answers to somebody. So I'm just curious, is this a throwaway title that Oda's just dropping? Or does Kaido, does he bend the knee to the Shogun? So it's just got me wondering because he's the viceroy as opposed to...
I was wondering about that too.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was a different translation of the title.
Yeah, we're going to have to look into that because it just got me curious.
The manga stream translation is saying viceroy. I'd like to see what the official translation says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because Viceroy, that doesn't seem like the last level boss. You know what I mean? That's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, it's misleading in One Piece because, like you said, in his lobby, Rob Lucci is not the leader of CP9.
Nah, he answered to what's it in Spanish.
You know what I'm saying? So it's important to say that you don't necessarily have to be the top guy to be that boss. But I was just curious. I was just wondering because I know the Shogun, a reckoning is gonna have to come for this whole crew. I know the 100 Beasts, the Shogun, a reckoning's got to come. But I was just the viceroy, and I'm sorry, we can go back to Shoot Tomorrow, but I was really thinking
that's a good point.
Viceroy.
Good point.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, circling back to Shoot Tomorrow, I felt like he can't be a throwaway character. There's something going on there that he's supposed to mean something.
I think him and those, as a matter of fact, the bandits up there that are with him are probably samurai loyal to that's my guess. That's my theory.
I think
if you go 47 Ronin purposefully went out and acted like, scum and vagabonds and so, and they sullied their, honor on purpose to make people think that they weren't going in on revenge against, I forget who the guy was. And they did it for like a year. I think it was a year or 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just stretching this out 20 years. So he went. That's my thought. That he been acting like a bandit for 20 years, and he's actually loyal to Oden, and he's gonna side up with. Depending on what happens during this fight, he might even save Luffy during this so-called fight with Kaido. At some point, he might rescue him or something like that. Luffy's going to get hit. He's going to get the snot knocked out of him. I'm pretty sure. Because it's coming. He had this coming.
I mean,
here in Wano anyway. But,
and I guess he needs that. I think.
Big Mom locked him in a cell, and you know what I'm saying. He was in the cell for a good minute in Whole Cake. You know what I'm saying. When is he? That goes back to my thinking. When is he going to learn? You know what I mean?
I'm with you. And to my mind, all the major villains, you know, the man takes L's. You know, Crocodile beat him, Lucci beat him. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's it's a rite of passage when you know this cat right here is got some gold. So I mean, I don't know how he's gonna make it out. Like I'm really thinking, you know, the end of 922 is absolutely amazing. The dude, I mean, Luffy's being Luffy, and you know he goes on the attack with Kaido, and I'm just thinking that when Kaido responds, because I'm not under the impression that Luffy's gonna one hit a quitter Kaido. I'm not under the impression that this is it. I'm under the impression that he's gonna make this man mad, and the only thing left for Luffy is to throw up a prayer. Because if he gets into it with Kaido at this point in time in the story, it's over. This is the end of One Piece. 923 is the last chapter.
You know what I'm thinking? What's my man in Bleach? Kiske. What's his name?
Urahara?
Urahara, like when Urahara let Ichigo take that L to Byakuya and what you call him? And Renji. He basically told him after the fact when he was back recuperating, he said, you know, I wanted you to see, you know, what these cats was about, you know. So you now you understand, you know, you've been bandaged up, you know, basically brought back to life, you know what I'm saying? If I'd have told you this, that's one thing. But I want you to see this, you know. And then he trained him up and let him go to Soul Society, which is a whole different issue I'm not getting into. But in my mind,
a training arc is coming.
Huh?
You think a training arc is coming?
No, I'm thinking because remember what you call him? Law is supposed to be going there. He's going to do something to try to help the situation out. I think he might let Luffy take his hit and then just like get him and teleport out of there or something. And then tell him after the fact, that's Kaido. You know, say, now what you gonna do? You know what I mean? There's a few options I see here. That Law lets him take a beating and then gets him out of there. Shitenmaru jumps into it somehow and then they all escape. Or Luffy is getting captured and he's getting put in a cell with Law. Because Law said that it's not necessary, the plan won't go wrong if me and Straw Hat are the only ones that get exposed. So that 2 weeks is still good. As long as Kaido doesn't think that all the Straw Hats and the Heart Pirates are on the island. So if they survive the blast and can lay low, even if Law and Luffy get captured, the plan's still good. It's just a question of how they're going to get out of that cell if they get captured. So then it's not necessary for them to escape for the plan to still go off. You know what I mean? So there are options, you know.
I think so too. I think the next couple of chapters are going to be very interesting because I like to see how this works out. Because this is, I mean, the tension right here now is palpable. Because he's very exposed and he has no chance of winning. So I'm really eager to see, because you know he just has to get out. You know it's a situation in which he has to get space between he and Kaido. So I'm curious as to how we go about doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Kaido and Jack in the same spot. So even if he he's not within range of Jack. But if Kaido was to tell Jack, go in there and get Luffy or whatever, even if it'd be like when I'm trying to think of a comp. It'd be kind of like what you call them, Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. Luke's fighting Vader and the Emperor sitting right over there. So even if you do beat down Vader, you still got to deal with the Emperor. So what you gonna do?
You know what I'm saying?
You know, so you got two strong members in the same spot. and it's not a it's not a good situation. It's not. It's just not. So he's gonna. I don't know how he's getting out of this. One thing I do like up until this point. I mean, the tension came quick. You know what I mean? Up until this point, there really hadn't been a whole lot of tension. Holden wasn't nothing. He got one shot in, and that was the end of it.
No.
Yeah, you got a lot of exposition and stuff like that.
I mean, a lot of nice little bits. I like Luffy's little reunion.
Yeah.
Nice little. I'm with you. It was it was entertaining, but it wasn't palpable. And at this point in time, it's palpable. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride. I like it. It feels like it's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to be a roller coaster. So Wano's looking up, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. No, I think that's it.
That's all I got too.
Yeah. So it's on Luffy now. He gonna have to take his beating and survive, or make room in that cell for Luffy and Kid.
Hopefully we won't be
3 big supernovas all locked up in the same cell.
But that might be trouble in and of itself. Because they might have time to then hatch their own little scheme and so forth. So it might be a mistake to have them Bammers because they're going to be doing nothing but plotting. So that's also an option too. So we'll see how it plays out.
Or maybe Killer will come up and save them.
Maybe Killer will, because maybe Killer's still in play.
Yes.
So at this point in time, the worst thing that could happen would be Luffy, Law, and Kid. So we'll see.
All right, man.
All right.
So the saga continues. We'll get 923 shortly, and we'll give our impressions of that as well. So for now, from the Crisis Corner, Dave, Jose, we out. Stay loose.